Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tash Teaches. I'm Tash, and in today's video I want to show you a super cool script that I wrote that has allowed me to almost entirely automate the process of generating very cool samples using AI. Now, you may or may not have some opinions about using a service like Udio, blah, 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 probably trained on copyrighted material, oh, death to the artist. If that's your issue, then you might want to stop this video right now because I'm actually going to be celebrating these evil tools for the next 10 minutes or so. But if you are interested, then stick around because I'm going to blow your mind. Without further ado, let's jump right in and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about and why this is such an utter game changer. Okay, I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller. I'm going to put myself in the corner right here. So you may or may not have already played around with this tool Udio. I think Udio is just the absolute best AI music generation platform out there right now. And it doesn't have a bad interface by any means. If we go here to create, I can, if it decides to load, I can go in and I can put in some sort of prompt and I can see all of my generations here. And I can even then go ahead and if I want to click download and I can download WAVs and stems and it takes a little while. And the problem is that this isn't super fast. And if you'll see here, I've got a very unorganized library here. Even though I have actually tried my best to be organized, it becomes difficult. And also, I don't really know what this prompt was when I download it. And I wanted to find a way that I wouldn't have to sit here in front of the computer and manually type things in. Another one of the issues as well is I'm on the Pro plan, which gives me 4 generations at once, which means I can generate 1, 2, 3, 4. I can generate 4 of 2 at every given moment, but I can never generate more than that at one time. I'm just realizing I'm in the way. I'm probably going to have to keep shifting myself. But the point is that it's irritating for me as a human being, God forbid, not now even having to make the music, to sit here and click and type away like some monkey in an office. So I wondered, is there a way that I could make this into an experience that feels a little bit more kind of like I come back to the computer and it's done the work for me. Here is a neatly organized folder of already downloaded, categorized music into different, say, genre tags. And that's what I'm going to show you today. Because right now, if I want to generate something new, I have to click this, and just for the sake of it, let's look, I've got to wait for these 2 songs to show up. Okay, now I can generate another one. And the point is that I have to do a lot of fucking work that I don't want to. That's why I created this mind-blowing little script here, which is basically I can generate a single thing at once. So in order to get this to work, I actually needed to reverse engineer like the API of Udio. And I played around with a little while. I looked into how people did this. I Googled all sorts of like white hat hacker stuff. And I have to say, little side note here, the amount of you motherfuckers that are all software engineers, and for years I've been laughing about how the fact that my entire clientele is software engineers, why do they like music? I like code. I did not realize this until fairly recently, within the last 6 months or so, that it's really fun to write solutions to problems and play around with code. So I'm on your side now, and I hope that you'll be proud that your young Tash has gone along and he's figured out how to reverse engineer APIs. Also, side note, if at any point in this video you notice that there's something that you'd like to add or contribute to this, then please do get in contact with me because this is something I really want to make work even better than it currently does. In order to make this work, however, I need to go into my inspect. I need to go to my developer tools here. And all I'm going to do, if we shift this off to the side a little bit, is I'm going to go to my network tab, and then I'm going to delete everything that we've got in here. And then all I'm going to do is generate anything. It doesn't really matter, but I have to generate something so that we get this API call here, generate proxy. And then I'm going to pull generate proxy to the side. And then I'm going to go in the headers. It might actually show you preview by default. I'm going to go to headers. I'm going to scroll down until I get to cookie. And then I'm going to copy and paste my session cookie. For any of you who think that you might now be able to just use my cookie to generate music, you won't. Because I'm going to reset it the next time I sign out and sign back in again. But for the sake of this, I'm going to take that cookie and I'm going to go back now to my code editor. And I'm going to go into .env, my environment variables here, and I'm just going to click in between here. I'm going to paste in that long ass fucking cookie. Then I'm going to click save. And now, if I wanted to, I could just go here and I could type Python single first, and then let's do prompt. We'll say, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's clear and bring this up again. I'm going to say prompt disco, comma, house, comma, 1970s. And if I now press enter, you can see that what it's doing here is it's making a bunch of requests. It's very ugly. It tells you the specific config prompts that I've actually got set up here. I've said that I always want to generate the 2 minute 10 seconds. So if you actually go back to here, you can see that there are all sorts of things that when you actually do generate a thing, so we go back here, network again, I've just deleted it. But when you generate it, you can actually see that there are specific parts to the message that is sent to their API to generate that I've actually gone in here and said, okay, I always want to generate instrumentals, lyric strength 0.25, blah, 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 blah. I did all of that. Down here, I've got a bunch of presets. We'll look at that in a second. But for now, if we go back here, you can see that my original prompt that I'd said, Disco House 1970s, it was then taken. It can check my API tier. I'm pro. I've got 4,800 tokens I can spend a day. It's gone in here, it's got Disco House 1970s, use style, blah, blah, blah. If we scroll down, you can see it's making a bunch of API calls here. Each one of these is a successful 200 call that's basically just checking for the song. And I guess their server is coming back and saying, no, it's not ready yet, check again in a sec. But you can see that very shortly, these 0 out of 2 complete will eventually say complete. There we go, downloading. If I wanted to, I could now actually just command click through to this page and it would open up. And this would be the actual file download. So if we go here to downloads, this would be the latest thing. It would have downloaded that. But that's not fun. That's not cool. Nobody cares about that. But you can also see that if we now go to my Finder, it's actually automatically opened it up. And here are those tracks. These are actually very cool, but this was the version that I actually made first. You actually see that it did put in tempo and key. I removed that from my final script I'm about to show you because it just wasn't spot on all the time, and I'd rather not give myself the chance to like maybe be right. I'd rather just work it out in the moment and have a slightly tidier song name. So anyway, you can see that it's actually done quite a nice job here. I'm gonna take these right now and just put them into this folder just because I want to go back, because now I want to show you where the real magic is. So I'm going to get out of here. What's really cool is not sitting there and going, okay, Python single prompt. I don't want to come up with that. Sure, what I could also do is I could put in a preset because I've dictated a few presets in here. So if we go into config.json, you can see that I've got a few presets. Dreamy is dreamy, introspective, deep house, blah, 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 blah. So if I then go to terminal and I say preset do lush, it's going to start that with that preset. But I don't want to do that. I'm going to stop that right now because I want to show you where the real magic is. And that is that I still don't want to have to sit here and prompt it. Why would I take what was actually a pretty nice user interface on udio.com and just replace it with a command line? I mean, it makes me feel cool. It would make me feel like a hacker if I was in a public place and people could look over my shoulder and I'm tip-tap-tapping away. But where the magic really happens is automating the process to just keep running and to have 4 threads, seeing as I can be generating 4 things at once, to have 4 threads running continuously, just downloading and outputting files. And so I want to show you how I've ended up doing that. And just to make it even cooler, we're going to do it making it really feel quite like we are a hacker. So we're just going to go into Udio and then we're going to go into CD Udio here. And I'm going to show you how fucking cool this is. So all we're going to do is go Python continuous with a T, and then I'm going to do thread. And for now, I'll just show you what happens with 1. I'm going to press 1, and what it's going to start to now do is it's going to keep generating, still using that same API key or using the cookie. But what it's going to do is, you'll see in a second, I should probably add some slightly bit more beautiful view here. Because right now it's a little bit kind of, it doesn't necessarily show you too much information. Not that you really need it anyway. But what I will also do is I'm going to bring up my Finder here, because you're going to see in a second that if we bring this to the side, this is a little bit of a giveaway anyway. But these, if you remember correctly, actually are the titles of my presets. So I've declared that dreamy means dreamy, introspective, deep house, jazzy, blah, 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 blah. So anytime I generate something with that prompt, what this cool script is going to do is it's going to take that and it's going to put the output of that, you'll see in a second, into a folder with that prompt. And actually the prompt that we are first using, I guess, is dreamy. So in here, look at the time, it's 5:28. The last time this folder was updated was 5:28, which means here, if we look at date modified, not only do we have a bunch of new files downloaded, but we've got a generation log here where we can see that this is actually what the prompt is, because I actually created this after. Now in some of the newer versions, like say Weird, for example, it just shows the preset at the top, and then it shows the date and the time that I generated, and crucially, the seed value. So let's actually check out what we've got here. It's gone ahead and generated this piece of music. Let's whip it up. What's going on here? It's generated this dreamy piece of music for me. Now the Quebec is pay. Very nice. And it's a 2-minute 11-second file. And obviously I'm not going to use this whole song, but what's cool about this is it now means that obviously I can go in and find things that I want to sample. And to make it even handier, if I bring up Ableton here, you can see that on the left-hand side, I've got a folder here called AI Gen, and it's just automatically going to update this. So 5:29, now it's just updated the Lush folder, which means in Ableton, we can go in and let's just make sure that it's going out the right headphones. We can go in and we can listen, and we can see, okay, oh, this is nice. Very cool. And of course, the key thing is it shows me what the seed number is. So if I wanted to as well, I could actually go back to this place. I could say generation log, I could open this up and I could take the prompt and then I could go back to Udio if I so felt like it, put in the prompt, and then I could even take the seed number and then go down to advanced controls, pick the actual seed, and then I could do a variation of it. I could subtly change the prompt strength or whatever, and it means that I can always go back to what the actual prompt was. But let's go back here. You can see that we've now had 2 successful generations. We had Dreamy, we've had one from Lush, currently it's doing Epic, which we actually don't want. Oh, Epic and Electronic are actually really bad prompts. I should have deleted them. But where the magic really lies is that, of course, I can change this from thread 1 to thread 4, which means I can now run 4 instances of this at the same time, concurrently and consistently generating. One of the issues I had with Udio was that I spend $30 a month. I always have too many credits. Like, I never manage to get through my credits, and I might as well use them all. I might as well end up with just like thousands of hours of things to be able to sample just on my computer, so that I don't have to even go on the internet sometimes. I could just go and sit in the middle of nowhere and just have hours and hours of super cool generated music. And I just want to show you one perfect example of just like how fun this was. I came back to my computer earlier and found a piece of music that just blew my fucking mind. I've ended up taking some drums. I've just pieced some other stuff around it. But listen to this. This is what is possible with AI these days. This little bit here. I'm going to skip forward a bit because this is just nuts. Ready? Anyways, you get the idea. The kind of music that you can make with this Udio shit is just bonkers. And this was just created in the background. You can see that I just have this generating consistently all day long. I can just keep this running and I can come back to my computer at any point and I can just see, okay, well, we've got a bunch of new generations here. What has it made for me while I've been away? Okay, we got this. Stop it. I don't want any of that epic stuff. Let's check out some of the disco. Tell me that you don't want to sample that. I mean, honestly, the amount of epic music that I have been just finding on my computer, and it's automatically downloaded, I can get it, it's just nuts. Okay, so there's one other thing that I wanted to show you here, which I think is also just going to blow your mind a little bit. So a lot of the best AI generating, AI stem separators, we could of course go in here and download stems, and we could do it through Udio. And it's a bit of a hassle, to be honest, just because it takes a little while. Sometimes you get this error bug. And obviously it only gives you drums, music, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't give you any more than just 4 stems. Then you've got tools like la 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 la, the AI that is very well known for being like a big player in the stem splitting game. But the problem with this one as well is I don't want to pay 20 bucks a month for stem splitting. And you know, there's all sorts of other tools, but in order to actually have just a total, doesn't need to be connected to the internet, and totally free and efficient stem splitter, I created one. I've actually used a bunch of open source technologies, just combined them all together. But I've now actually taken this really, really nuts, let's go best stem splitter ever, we're in here. I'm just going to enable my virtual environment. And I just want to show you how cool this is. So I can just say run. In fact, let me just check to see if I didn't change it. So I'm actually going to say Python stem splitter CLI. And all I'm going to do now is go to my Finder, and I'm going to find a track that we like. Maybe we can find one with a vocal. In fact, let's just take this one because I think I have it on instrumental. But I'm just going to click enter with this on, and it says, how many stems would you like? 4 or 6? If you do 4, you get that conventional, you know, drums, bass, vocals, other that you get. I'm going to say 6 because I want guitar and piano separated. And here's the fucking kicker. Would you like drum stems? Yes, I would. I would love that. So we'll say yes. And what it's going to now do is it's going to first analyze the key and tempo. I need to remove this because it's still not 100% right. But it's going to start analyzing the key and the tempo of this track. It's actually said it's 117. It might actually be right, to be honest, because of the fact that it's more consistent, being a disco track, and it starts on the 1. Now it's going to start splitting those stems using demux that was actually created by Facebook, or by Meta. I'm sure I've spoken about on this channel before the plugin that I absolutely love, which is called Regroover, which I don't actually have installed on here. But it was this, so Regroover Pro, truly amazing piece of software that you can't get anymore. I actually still have the ability to install it because luckily I kept all of the installer files, but it allowed you to take a loop, a drum loop, and split it into, say, like kick, clap, hat. This company just like disappeared off the face of the earth a couple of years ago. And it turns out that what happened was that Facebook, or Meta, bought the company. And I guess they just they said, okay, no, we're going to keep this tech. You can see actually here it's now copied and renamed that file, and it's put it in a special folder, it's renamed it to bass, and now it's splitting the drum stem. So it's taking that drums WAV file, and then it's further splitting that into kick, snare, toms, and hats. But back to the Meta thing, for years I was like, oh, you know, those bastards, they stole it. But I didn't realize that Facebook then went and gave this amazing free open source model for AI stem splitting. So truly mind-blowing stuff. Let's just give it a couple more seconds as it comes in here. It's now gone automatically opened that track for me. If we look here, we've got the full track that we already had. And it's then got drums, of course. Nice. We've got the bass. We've got guitar, which there isn't really anything, it's correctly figured out. We've got piano. We've got other that's actually taking up any of that other shit. We could probably mix them back in together. We've got hats. Here's the key stuff. We've got kick. We've got snare clap. Absolutely crazy. We've got toms, which probably doesn't have anything in there other than some fills. But again, the way that I've set this up is that it just automatically goes into my computer here. I can just open it up and I can see, okay, nice, here we go. Let's just open up a new project file. I never have to move files. I don't need to rename them. They're just automatically placed in the relevant place on my computer. So I just want to say again to all of you software engineers out there, thank you so much. In fact, I just want to note here, it says, would you like to separate another track? No, I wouldn't. I'm okay for now, thanks. Exciting. Goodbye. Actually, it says exiting. But thank you so much for inspiring me. I don't think you intended to, but thank you for inspiring me to become a computer nerd like you. I think just this experience of realizing how many solutions there are to your problems in life if you just try and create them for yourself. Mind-blowing experience. The fact that I can just go back and forth and I can listen to these tracks now. I can just generate whatever it is that I want. If I wanted to as well, I can just go in here to Windsurf and I can add another preset and I can say, okay, let's do, in fact, I've even got Notion here. I've got a couple of ones that I know work quite well. Let's take this one as well. This is quite a nice one. We'll do, what do we call this? We'll call this Sweet House. And this one is going to be, we'll do that. This is a nice sweet house one. Let's just make sure that we get rid of these two very, very horrible ones. And if, in fact, if I were to put this at the top, I could actually say that this one will definitely come first. Obviously, you don't have to run all of them. Like the fact that I've got them in this order means that they will just continue to loop through. But if I put, say, just Dreamy, it's going to continue to loop through that. I just wanted to keep generating through between these ones. So why don't we also just, for one more sake, well, let's just add this. And I'm going to say, let's put a comma here. Ooh, comma. We'll say progressive, or say prog rock. And this one is this. And I'm just going to call it like that. If I save this now, and I were to then go back to terminal, and I were to just run this again, it's going to start that up, and it's going to continue to go through. And once it gets through to that, it's going to generate a bunch of things in those style as well. So just truly amazing. Last thing I just want to show you is it also keeps track of all of the errors and why they happened. It failed to generate start. And just like the fact that I can go in here and I can be like, okay, well, what have we got that's new? This was generated 2 minutes ago while I was in the bath. Ah. I'm going to sample the shit out of that. Really, really cool things to work with here. I'm curious what we've got in world. Let's see. Anyways, one other thing I just want to share as well is that if you are at all interested in learning more about using AI ethically, ethically is the wrong word because I'm not going to teach you how to do that. I'm going to teach you how to use it with integrity, should we say. If you are an artist that is keen to explore the awesome power of AI to create music that expresses that voice in your heart through not being bound by what you have access to, what instruments, what collaborators. If you want to be able to create music that feels a certain way that you just don't know how to do, sampling is the way to go. And to be able to actually describe what it is you want as that sample and then work with it, game changer. I've actually just put out a course today which I would love for you. I'm going to put it in the description down below, but actually if you just go here to tash.ai, this is a course that I created that goes into, in full depth, every single thing that I know about the art of AI sampling, as I call it. And have a little look here. We go into how to define your personal style, how to actually figure out what the words are that you can use to describe the music that you want, to understand the music that exists in your heart. Then how to actually use Udio to the maximum of its power, and how to use all of the precise controls. And then refine, this is the key part, how to actually go ahead and make real music, how to produce music that sounds high quality, given the fact that a lot of these AI generations have a lot of spectral issues and they don't sound ideal. I show you how to go in there and make really professional sounding music. This course is currently available for $49. The sale ends in 3 hours and 15 minutes, but I'm actually going to put it out for another day. We'll have another 24 hours just because I hadn't finished this script that I just wrote, the Udio continuous generator, and I want to include that if you sign up right now. So if you want to have access to that and you want to get 50% off, the price goes up in 24 hours to double. You'll still be able to get access to the Udio continuous prompt generator and also my stem splitter in the future. But if you want to save 50 bucks, get on and fucking buy this right now. The link is in the description down below. I hope that you are as excited about these crazy possibilities as I am. And thank you so much. Happy Friday and happy creating.